now that GTA and is around the corner, GTA 6 is around the corner, and Resident Evil 9 is currently out, we need to start having a real conversation here because there has been more positive reviews on Resident Evil 9 than any other horror game in history right now. Facts, by facts. There's been more positive reviews. People have loved the story so much that we need to have to start having a real conversation to GTA fans and Resident Evil fans out there. Is this going to be a better game than GTA 6? Now, before the GTA fans just start typing paragraphs and essays in the comments, hear me out for a second. I'm not saying GTA 6 is going to be a bad game, but here's the truth. With Rockstar almost never missing on their games and them delaying GTA 6, the hype around GTA 6 might be too much for them to handle, and that might be the biggest issue. There is the biggest expectation on them to have perfect AI, endless content, cars, weapons, and customizables in the game. It has expectations to have the best story Rockstar has ever made. That includes other games that they made in the past, like Red Dead Redemption, which might be the biggest problem. Because the truth is, GTA is not the best game Resident Evil. Sorry, GTA is not the best game that Rockstar has made. It's Red Dead Redemption 2. And people will actually agree with me on that because I think it has a better story, better characters, and better overall plot. So with this, the expectations that they have been put on them because they've delayed the game is extremely high. There is an uncapped expectation on them to make a perfect game that has never been put on a video game in history. Call of Duty, any franchise you think of. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Resident Evil 9, a game that just got released, had an insane amount of hype around the game. There were so many fans that were hyped for the game a couple of months ago when they released trailers for it about Leon and Grace. And the truth is, the game has met the hype. It has exceeded the hype. It has exceeded the expectations by far with the plot, the characters, with Grace and the voice actors behind the characters. With Grace adding a like stutter in her voice, which is realistic that no other horror game has had like that. The truth is, the pacing is insane. The game is tight. It doesn't waste your time. It has a great balance between the horror of Grace and the action of Leon. And it kind of balances it out. So once you finish a section, then it switches to action mode. And it doesn't stay in one realm of area for too long. The game switches pace a lot from fast to slow pace with a boss fight and difficulty. But the truth is, Resident Evil throws you into the tension right away. We are thrown into the game immediately when we encounter the girl, the Shadow Ghost, whatever you want to call her. She is such a scary character that it throws you right into the story right away and what you'll be experiencing during the game. That is something GTA has not done in the past. Another thing is Resident Evil games have a ammo consumption limit. You need to be very conservative with your ammo. That is not the case with GTA. GTA, you have infinite ammo, infinite utility basically. It is really easy to find more ammo. You basically never run out. I'm not saying it's not possible to run out, but it's very difficult to run out because you have so much ammo and enemies in the game to kill. Honestly, GTA 6 creates chaos and Resident Evil creates tension. Now, people like tension more than chaos because getting a 5-star wanted level, that is like the number one thing people that play GTA do, is they try to get a 5-star wanted level with the cops chasing you. Now, another thing we aren't really talking about is replayability. How replayable, let's be honest here, how replayable in the past has been GTA story. After you beat the story once, how replayable is the story? Sure, we like the characters, sure, we like the enemies, and we like the story, but how replayable is the game as a whole? Not very replayable. Once you beat GTA 5, people play online and they never play the story ever again. And there is no way to add certain challenges to beat the game, like no ammo or no guns, because that's not possible, you know? Resident Evil has already people have already come up with new ways to play the game, new challenges. For instance, no damage, beat the game in under 3 hours, beat insanity difficulty in under 2 hours. People are doing speed runs, and pros are trying to figure out new strategies every single day as before anybody else, which honestly is what has brought so much hype to the game recently. People are constantly trying to trying to get under the 4 hour mark. They're trying to unlock the speed demon. Now with GTA, once you beat the story once, there is no reason to play the story again. Because honestly, the stories in the past have not been that good. I'm not saying the characters are bad, but GTA is not known for its story at all. And let's look at the consistency of the franchise recently. Resident Evil has been on an insane run over the past decade, with Resident Evil 7 just straight up dominating and becoming one of the best horror games in the history of the franchise. And then Resident Evil Village just expanded on that with Lady Dimitrescu and the villains in that game. And then with all the remakes, Resident Evil performs on their remakes, which is another thing that GTA does not do. Their remakes were so bleh and they're so honestly, because Capcom has figured out how to make the game different and make the game feel fresh so that fans that didn't play Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil 3 or the older games can experience the same thing that the original players of those games had. With that fact, Capcom has been dropping bombs lately. They have been insane with their game releases. Every single game has been a success and has meant the hype by ex- insane expectation, bro. Now the truth is, Rockstar has created great games in the GTA franchise, but you have to wait 10 years, and they take so much time making their community wait. It is a downfall of the franchise that they take too much time to make a new game, and they want to be bigger. They want to make the graphics better. They want to improve every single tiny little thing about the game. But sometimes the most memorable moments are moments that get your heart rate up, that invest you into the story, invest you into the characters and what happens to them. Bigger is not always better. The bigger the map, the bigger the loophole, the more weapons, the more cars, etc., the more customizables is not always better. When we look at the map in GTA and Resident Evil 9, when we look at the map in Resident Evil 9, you do not spend too much time in each place. Like I said, if you play the game fast, you spend a maximum of 45 minutes in each section of the game. When you're playing as Grace, you spend about half the game as Grace and about a little less than half as Leon, honestly. And the truth is, that is what balanced out the game so well, is that you have a lot of Leon fans out there who love Leon and his story, and then you have new fans that love Grace and love her character as a whole. The truth is, GTA 6 has a lot of work to do to meet the hype of Resident Evil 9 and what it's brought so far. The truth is, the fact that GTA 6 may be $100 and will be the most expensive game ever, there is a lot of expectations on the hype with it being the most expensive game ever made, and the bigger game, the bigger map, people have expectations on it that are honestly unmeetable for any franchise. And honestly, if GTA ends up making the best game of all time, then that is up for debate for the rest of the world to decide. It will honestly be a difficult choice for them to make if it's not a perfect game. All right, I want to thank you all for watching. I want you to write down what you think about the comics, whether you're Team GTA or Team Resident Evil, and tell me which game you think and why is going to be better. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and honestly, let me know what you think down in the comments about this, and tell me if I'm just an absolute insane maniac, but I don't think I am. I think GTA has a lot of work to do, seriously. And there's an issue with that they might delay the game again. Which if they delay the game again, then the expectations will be even higher. There is such a huge risk on this game where if it's not a perfect game, then it'll be the biggest flop and the biggest fail in the history of video games. I want to appreciate you guys for listening, hear me out. Whether you agree with me or not, that is totally fine. But I seriously think this is a valid debate to put up to effect on which game is going to be the game of the year. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I will see you guys later.